Hi everyone, in this video I will tell top 15 K-dramas about psychopaths and murderers part 1. Dramas that I watch and recommend to you. And of course, this video without spoilers for the ending. If you like this video format, then subscribe and like it. Thank you for attention. Then let's get started. First of all, I recommend to you about the K-drama Mouse. Mouse is a 2021 South Korean thriller television series starring Lee Hee-jun, Lee Seung-gi, Park Joo-hyun, and Hyun Soo-jin. The series follows a traumatized detective Go Moo-chi and a young colleague, John Barim, on the hunt for a serial killer. The scriptwriter was inspired by the Incheon Elementary School murder case in 2017. When the victim's mother asked the defendant what was the hardest thing right now, the defendant's answer was neither regret nor guilt. Instead, the defendant said, "The weather is fine, but the hardest thing for me is not seeing the cherry blossom." The whole nation was shocked and furious at the defendant's response. Perhaps it is natural for the defendant to give such an answer. After all, the defendant was born with a different gene from ours, the psychopathic gene. Psychopaths have the same brain as ordinary human beings, but without a mirror neuron. They neither feel the pain of others, nor can they perceive feelings such as guilt, sympathy, compassion, or regret. The scriptwriter planned the drama against this backdrop. The psychopaths are the ones who believe in what they have done, as the scriptwriter wanted to see psychopaths murderers feel the pain, reflect on their actions, and atone. Even if there is only a slight change that they will feel empathy, they should understand their sins sincerely and feel remorse. That would be the best punishment and salvation for the psychopathic murderers. Next K-drama, Hell is Other People, or Strangers from Hell, is a 2019 South Korean television series starring Im Si-won and Lee Do-nook, based on the naval webtoon series of the same name by Kim Yoon-ki. It tells the story of a young man, Yoon Jong-woo, in his 20s who moves to Seoul after landing an internship in a company. While looking for a place to stay, he stumbles upon a dance studio, an ominous ship dormitory, and decides to stay there as he is low on money. So not thrilled about the quality of the place and its abnormal residents, including his next-door neighbor Seo Moon-joo, he decides to torrent it until he saves enough money to move out. However, mysterious occurrences start occurring in the studio, causing Jun-woo to start fearing the studio's residents. Next drama, Blind, in a 2022 South Korean television series starring Ok Tae-kyun, Ho Seok-jin, and Jun Yeon-ji. The series tells the story of ordinary people who unjustly became victims of various crimes, their perpetrators, and those who were trying to catch criminals. Ryu Sun-jun is a patient detective who tries to uncover the truth that no one has seen. He investigates murders and has an acute addiction to the way the handcuffs on the wrist of criminals are fastened. He is chasing a unique signature left by a serial killer. His brother, Ryu Sun-hoon, is suing the case, while the criminal he convicted sits in jail. The jurors who were present at the trial begin to die one by one. As a result, Ryu Sun-hoon goes in search of him in order to wash away this shame, catch the real criminal who interfered in the process, and bring him to justice. Fourth K-drama, I think many people have already heard about Penthouse. Penthouse, War in Life, is a South Korean television series from 2020 to 2021 release. The drama consists of 3 seasons. The Penthouse tells the story of wealthy families living in a ghetto palace and their children studying at the Chona Art School. All parents living there have great ambitions and desires for their children and are ready to do anything for them. However, their lives begin to unravel when a young mysterious girl named Min-sola falls to her death during a party at Kira's palace, as the residents of Kira's palace tried to cover up the fact that she died indoors. They can't help but suspect each other of the murder. This drama is very confusing, but with this, it is very interesting. Flower of Evil is a 2020 South Korean television series starring Lee Jun-ki, Moon Jo-won, Jang Hae-jin, and Seo Hoon-woo. Bae Hye-sung is a man who hides his identity and past from his wife, Cha Ji-woon, a detective. On the surface, they appear to be the perfect family, a loving couple with a beautiful 6-year-old daughter who adores her parents. Cha Ji-woon and her colleagues begin investigating a series of unexplained murders, and she is confronted with the reality that her seemingly perfect husband may be hiding something from her. Sixth drama, Big Mouth, is a 2022 South Korean television series starring Lee Jun-suk, Lee Myung-ah, and Kim Joo-hoon. The series tells the story of a third-rate lawyer, Park Chan-ho, who is called Big Mouth by his legal acquaintance due to his tendency to speak before acting. However, he gets caught up in a murder case. In order to survive and protect his family, he digs into a huge conspiracy among the privileged upper classes. Seventh K-drama, Save Me, is a 2017 South Korean television series starring Ok Do-kyun, So Yeon-ji, Jo Sun-ha, and Woo Do-hwan. Im Sun-mi and her family moves from Seoul to the suburb of Muji County after father's business fails. The region called Goseon-won has most of the country in its crops, with a large number of flowers. The cult disguises itself as a peaceful church, but dark secrets, torture, violence, and murder lurk underneath, with even maliciously darker intentions that deceive their most devoted followers. Sunmi's mother soon loses her sanity due to losing her son forever, and this causing Sunmi's hatred for the religious cult who she blames for her mother's poor condition. Taking advantage of their fragile state, the cult's leader lures her parents into Goseon-won. Despite Sunmi's repeated objection to something wrong with the cult, her father is fully brainwashed. With him in the clutches of the cult and her mother mentally unstable, Sunmi is trapped and unable to escape. The next K-drama, Psychopath Diary, is a 2019 South Korean television series starring Yoon Si-yoon, Jun In-sun, and Park Sun-hoon. Yuk Dong-sik is shy and can't even get angry at the people who look down upon him. One day, shortly after failing on his attempt of suicide, he witnesses a murder. He unintentionally picks up a diary belonging to murder, on which was written the log of his murders. He flees with the diary, but he is accidentally hit by a patrol car, which causes him to suffer from retrograde amnesia. Due to the diary in his possession, Dong-sik mistakenly believes he is a psychopath. Since that moment, his behavior started to change. Next K-drama, Connect, is a 2022 South Korean television series starring Jun Hae-in, Go Kyun-pyo, and Kim Hyo-jun. Ha Dong-soo, a new human being, Connect, who has an immortal body, was kidnapped by an organ trafficking organization. Partway through the surgery, he suddenly wakes up on an operating table and manages to escape with his one remaining eye. Then he finds out that he can still see out of his missing eye, which has now been transplanted to a serial killer who killed and turned his victims into artistic sculptures. Determined to get back what was taken, Dong-soo pursues the killer to make himself whole again. The Glory is a 2022 South Korean streaming television series. A former victim of school violence seeks revenge on her viewers after taking up a job as the homeroom teacher at the elementary school of the abused child. Some scenes are based on the true event In 2006, when a group of middle schoolers from Jeonju, South Korea, extorted money from their classmate for about a month, repeatedly beating and burning her, using objects in the process. Next K-drama, My Name, is a 2021 South Korean streaming television series starring Han So-hee, Park Hyo-sun, and An Bo-hyun. Yoon Ju-woo's father dies suddenly. She desperately wants to take revenge on whoever is responsible for her father's death. Ji-woo then works for drug crime gang Donchon, led by Choi Moo-jin. With the help of Moo-jin and to uncover the reason for her father's death, Ji-woo joins the police force and becomes a mole for Donchon. The Devil Judge is a 2021 South Korean television series starring Joo Sun, Kim Min-jung, Park Jin-yoon, and Park Gyu-young. The series is set in a dystopian version of South Korea, where people harbor hatred towards their leaders and live in chaos. Trials are held through a courtroom live show aired on television, where three judges come together to bring justice. Kan Yo-han, a chief judge who punishes the dishonest with no mercy, thus earning himself a reputation as hero of the people. However, he maintains a mysterious background and conceals his true motivation and ambitions. Next K-drama, Revenge of Others, is a 2022 South Korean streaming television series starring Shin Yoo-in and Lam Won. Shooting champion Ok Chan-mi doesn't believe that her twin brothers committed suicide. Just as the police begin to wrap up the case, Chan-mi transfers to her brother's school to find his killer. She meets Ji Soo-hyun, a boy with many undersides in his life, who also seeks justice, but in a rather dangerous way. Together, they work towards a common goal, getting revenge on perpetrators despite knowing the risk. Next K-drama, Weak Hero Class 1, is a 2022 South Korean television series starring Park Ji-hoon, Cho Hyun-wook, and Hwon Kyun. It is based on the popular naval webtoon Weak Hero, written by Psychopaths and illustrated by Kim Jin-sok, which was published in 2018 and is a prequel to the events of the series. The plot revolves around a young man named Yeon Se-un. Classmates know the teenager as a quiet schoolboy and a talented student who occupies the highest position in the school ranking. However, the guy isn't as simple as it seems. Using his quick decision skills, his knowledge of physics, and the objects in his environment, Shion defends himself against bullies. These skills significantly help him in life, because the young man doesn't tolerate manifestations of aggression, because of which he often gets into trouble. And last K-drama, The Curious Shopping List, is a 2022 South Korean television series starring Lee Kwon-soo, So Hyun, and Jin Hyo-kyun. Anderson, an unlucky guy with a phenomenal memory. At the same time, for the third year in a row, he can't pass the exam for a civil servant and works as a cashier in his mother's small supermarket. One day, a murder occurs about his work. The song finds out that the only clue that will help to figure out the criminal is a check from the store. Which of them are your favorite or have already watched, as well as which dramas you recommend? Write in the comment. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like. Thank you for attention. Have a nice day.